my God, Trump, what are you telling yourself? That the history books aren't going to show that you were the worst president ever? The history books are not going to reveal everything that you have said is a complete fucking lie? And that the Americans that were stupid enough to believe in you and support you were just dupes? You think that's not going to be apparent? You think that 100 years from now, the only thing that's going to be said, the only thing that isn't going to be said about you is that you were a compulsive liar, a fraud, and you were the biggest mistake to American presidency ever? What are you telling yourself? It's going to be different than that? How? What's going to make it different than that? Everybody knows, well, most people know that you're lying through your teeth. You have these people in denial that, want change, and they fall for the stupid prejudice bullshit. And, pretty much they're just weak cowards. And so they're falling for your Hitler tricks and games and your racist bullshit and your manipulation. But many of us are heard for how many years that you've studied Hitler tactics and you went to Hitler camp? You hung out with KKK members and your father was a KKK leader? That's who raised you? And then you went to military academy? Like, what are you telling yourself? That things are going to be different? That these illusions of grandiosity that you have are going to amount to something else? When the history books look back 100 years from now and tell everybody who Donald Trump was, they're not going to say that you're a compulsive liar, you manipulated the election, the American people, and a whole bunch of bullshit, and that you didn't amount to doing anything other than being a salesman and a very expensive real estate agent that ripped off the American people. You've already spent how much money on basically 3 weekends at your golf course? And they're claiming that what you've spent so far would now be the equivalent of what Obama spent in total in a year for his family vacations. So how much are you going to spend after 1 year if that's what you've spent after 1 month? What kind of guy are you? What kind of leader are you? What kind of, we obviously know you're not a father. You're just a deadbeat father. We know that you're not a husband. You're just an abuser and a sex maniac. What else have we got? Well, let's see. Apparently you're a rapist. Yeah, I don't know. Tiffany hasn't opened her mouth to tell us about what kind of father you truly are to her. But, you're pretty touchy-feely with Ivanka. I wonder if you're touchy-feely with the boys also. Or did you just, pedophile your female daughter? And the only reason that Tiffany got left out is she wouldn't let you pedophile her. Well, it's obvious to much of the world that you're a fall down. You're the worst president that the American history is ever going to have, and probably ever going to get again. We will never ever see anybody worse than you in the president's chair, because I doubt they'll ever let it happen like this again. So your one claim to fame out of it all is going to be going down in the history books as the worst American president ever. And, if humanity survives all your bad decisions and bad choices and environmental impact and the carbon fallout and everything else, then, 1,000 or 2,000 years from now, that's all you're ever going to amount to. The worst American president in history. No, you won't be the richest man. You won't be the billionaire. You won't be anything, because in years to come, if this structure of ours, this monetary structure continues, it's going to go up. So what you think of, you have, think of as you having money, that won't even count as pennies in years to come down the road. So they won't even think of you as wealthy. They'll just think of you as a bad president that had a couple pennies. And that's the only memory you're going to leave. And that's the heritage you're going to, the lineage and heritage you're going to leave for your family. They're going to have to answer for your mistakes. They're going to walk around and, hang their head in shame because of the father they can see you to be. And now the world is getting to see it also, as you sit there with your pretentious bullshit holding up the book. Yeah, I don't know what I just signed, but I signed it. You're the biggest joke humanity knows. And that's all there is to it. I don't know what you're telling yourself about what's to come. The position and accomplishments that you feel you are leaving behind. But you're not accomplishing anything other than making a public ass of yourself and completely doing the opposite of all the promises that you made. Oh yeah, you're going to bring jobs to America? To who? All the people that don't have any money to spend anymore because you destroyed their economy? People actually believed in you. And the only thing they're going to get is complete disappointment when they come out of their denial and quit lying to themselves and quit, just being blatantly duped because they voted for you. So all those people that had faith in you are going to become your worst enemies. So it's not the people that were rioting, it's not the women that had women's march that are going to be your biggest problem. Your biggest problem is going to be all the people that had faith in you and thought you might actually do one of the things, or maybe even two of the things you said you were going to. Oh, that's right, you were going to build a wall in Mexico. Oh, and you were going to build the wall in Canada. Yeah, us Canadians, we want our wall. We can't believe Mexicans are getting treated better than Canadians. They at least get a wall. And we also know that you have no excuse because you claim you have $4 billion, at least, which would be a good start to the Canadian wall that you promised to build us. We'd at least get a foot high all the way across the Canadian-US border. And it would be a start. But we know that you're just a big mouth full of hot air that doesn't do anything except make more money for yourself. And it's going to be so funny when you die and you can't take that money with you. And the only people that show up to your funeral are your own children. And you realize how little you actually have and how little you're actually worth.